Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Rob, for putting on this. This is such an amazing event, and it's for an incredible cause. So I'd just like to thank you all for being here. And I really loved Rob's talk and Suzanne's talk. So who would like more abundance in their life? Woo. Who would like more abundance and joy? Well, you're in the right place. Well, my name's Kate Winch, as you know, and my passion is abundance tapping. I love calling it abundance tapping because I find when you tap, it clears all the gunk out, and you tend to attract more good in your life. So my intention today is that by the end of this session, you'll be feeling more peaceful and light and ready to go out and bring more good into your life. A little bit about how I got into this. My aunt's a therapist in England, and she introduced tapping to me, and I thought it was rather weird. I was like, this strange technique that you tap and say these words. And I was a hypnotherapist at the time, and I took it back with me, and I would use it for clients who are quitting smoking and for cravings, because you can really use it for anything. And I was still pretty skeptical, but I was like, oh, okay, let's try this. And then my sister tried it, and she said, oh my God, this stuff is amazing. You have to go and train. And so I ended up training. There was training in the Bay Area, and it ended up blowing me away. And one afternoon, I was doing my tapping at home, and I was doing tapping on deserving abundance. And that evening, I received $900 in cash. And I thought, this works. So then I started doing my tapping every day, and I used it to grow my business. And now I love helping people holistic practitioners who have their own businesses, to clear the inner gunk that we have about the business side, because we're really good at what we do, but then we have that business side. So I used to be terrified of public speaking. You'd never get me on a stage, and I used the tapping. And then it's great for like raising your rates and charging what you're worth and all that stuff that can come up as a practitioner. Yes, so we're going to have a really great session. I lead these abundance tapping workshops and teleclasses, and this is going to be like an abundance tapping workshop. So one of the things I love to do is start by grounding everyone. And you know, you've been running around, you had a great morning listening to these amazing speakers. And I'd like you all to just close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths. And you can put your left hand on your heart if you like. But just take a moment. I'm going to lead you through some intention setting and visualization. So stretching your fingers and toes, loosening your jaw, and setting the intention for today's session. What you'd like to let go of, and what you'd like to bring in. And again, inhaling deeply, very calm, very peaceful. And imagine it's 6 months from today. You're waving a magic wand. How does it feel? Where are you? What's going on? Allow yourself to expand your mind to all the amazing possibilities that are available to you. Inhaling deeply. Where are you living? Who are you with? Are you with your soulmate? Are you in the city or nature? How is your self-care? What daily rituals do you have? Are you tapping, prayer, meditation, journaling, doing your gratitude list, singing, dancing, exercise? What are those things that you're doing every day that are really grounding you? And how is your work or your business? Perhaps you're making more money, working less, reaching more people. How much money are you bringing in each month? Can you tell me what you'd like to work on today?
Money issues related to my father.
Yes. Tell me more about that.
Well, some part of me believes that the only way I could make money is be like him. Mm-hmm. He was never available. He was always working or playing, but I was never involved. It's not kind of fun.
How do you feel about that?
Not good.
Yeah.
Kind of angry about it.
Yeah. What number is it?
Just say without knowing, 9.
Yeah. Is your dad still around? No.
He's passed him.
Yeah. And that's one thing we can have, with our parents, we can be carrying stuff years later. And the tapping is really wonderful to clear that. And how do you feel about money? Do you stress about it, or is there not enough?
I like to have it.
You like to have it?
When I work with my clients, I feel like I'm worthy and grateful. They benefit working for me. I'm very intuitive.
Yes.
And so I feel satisfied when that's happening.
Yes. And do you have, can you attract clients, and do you charging what you're worth? And
that's something I'm working on.
Okay.
Doing more of
Yeah.
that.
And what's really interesting is the thing about abundance tapping is you can think, well, what's anger at dad got to do with abundance and money? Well, a lot. So often when we do the tapping for business, and we'll work on things that have nothing to do with business. So if you have some anger or resentment, sometimes we can have it at ourselves for being, gosh, I've spent too much, God, I'm so useless with money, or whatever it is, or at a parent or a spouse. Give that a number, because anger is a really consuming emotion. It just takes up so much time and energy. And as you let go of the anger, you can have more space to focus on what you want. Does anyone have any questions about any quick questions before we begin? Are you ready to tap? Yes, thank you. Okay, come on forward. All right, thank you for being so courageous.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really brave. Okay, so everyone pick a number 0 to 10 if you have anger at yourself or someone else. If it's not that your issue, feel free to pick something else, and you'll get what most of you know is borrowing benefits. So as you tap along, you'll get the transformation. So let's go to the karate chop point. Even though I have all this anger at dad,
Even though I have all this anger at dad,
and I don't know how to let it go.
and I don't know how to let it go.
Maybe it doesn't seem possible.
Maybe it doesn't seem possible.
I've been angry at dad for so long.
I've been angry at dad for so long.
I wouldn't recognize myself without this anger.
I wouldn't recognize myself without this anger.
I wonder who I'd be.
I wondered who I'd be.
And I deeply and profoundly love and accept myself anyway.
Deeply and profoundly love and accept myself anyway.
Deep breath, everyone. Even though I have all this anger and sadness.
Sadness.
Yeah.
Even though I have all this anger and sadness
At dad.
at dad.
And I don't know how I can ever let it go.
And I don't know how I can ever let it go.
Maybe it doesn't feel safe.
Maybe it doesn't feel safe.
I can't relax about this.
I can't relax about this.
I have to be on guard.
I have to be on guard.
I got to protect myself.
Gotta protect myself.
But I accept who I am.
But I accept who I am.
And I appreciate how I feel.
And I appreciate how I feel.
Deep breath, everyone. Even though I have all this anger and resentment at dad.
Even though I have all this anger and resentment at dad.
And I refuse to let it go.
And I refuse to let it go.
It's part of my identity.
It's part of my identity.
I wonder who I'd be without it.
I wonder who I'd be without it.
I wouldn't recognize myself.
I wouldn't recognize myself.
And I love and accept myself anyway.
And I love and accept myself anyway.
And then we're going to the eyebrows. All this anger and resentment at dad.
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 All this sadness and grief.
All this sadness and grief.
All this anger and resentment.
All this anger and resentment.
I'm so mad at him.
I'm so mad at him.
I can't let it go.
I can't let it go.
I don't think I can ever forgive him.
I don't think I can ever forgive him.
He wasn't there for me.
He wasn't there for me.
Keep tapping. I'd like you to have a vent and just tell me more, all about the anger and resentment and sadness about Dad.
He's just never there. He wasn't there.
He's never there.
He was never there.
Anything else?
Always working
He was always working,
and always being angry when he would come home.
always being angry when he came home.
Like I always did something wrong.
Always did something wrong.
Could never please him.
It was never enough.
It was never enough.
I could never please him.
I could never please him.
All this anger and resentment at
All
Dad.
this anger and resentment towards Dad.
Anything else?
So towards me as well.
All this, oh yeah, tell me about that.
All this anger and resentment towards me.
Why are you angry at yourself?
You should be better than that.
I should be better than that?
Yeah.
Yeah. What else?
It's my fault.
It's all my fault. What else?
If I wasn't born, then he'd be happier.
Oh. Feeling like I wasn't meant to be there.
I wasn't meant to be there.
All this guilt and shame.
All this guilt and shame.
Feeling like it's all my fault.
I feel like it's all my fault.
Deep breath. All this grief and sadness.
All this grief and sadness.
All this anger at myself.
All this anger at myself.
All this anger at him.
All this anger at him.
All this sadness about carrying this for so long.
I'm carrying this for so long. I just like to let it go.
I'd really love to let it go.
I'd love to let it go.
It's so exhausting.
So exhausting.
I have suffered so much about this.
I've suffered so much about this.
What if I could let it go?
What if I could let it go?
What if I could let it go now?
What if I could let it go now?
I am so tired of carrying this around.
I'm really tired of carrying this around.
It's exhausting
It's exhausting
and it's toxic.
and toxic.
It's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die,
Drinking poison.
even though he's passed on already.
Even though he's passed on already.
It's like having somebody live rent-free in my head that I really don't want to think about.
Something living rent-free in my head I don't really want to think about.
So I'd really love to let it go.
So I would really love to let it go.
What if I could let it go?
What if I could?
Let's take a little break. Close your eyes, everyone. 0 to 10, this anger and resentment at Dad.
Tightness in my shoulder. It's getting less. Maybe
What number would you give it now?
more of an 8 or a 7.
Yep, so
Kind
you've
of
come
getting,
down.
starting to let go a little bit.
What makes it a 7-8 as we do a deeper clearing?
It's that I'm realizing that I don't really want to be holding on to this. It's not helping me. It's not helping anybody.
Yeah.
Not helping the situation. Somehow, some sort of loyalty that if I keep my anger at him, then I'll be protected from it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, sometimes we think we hold on to our anger as a shield, like this protects me, but of course it makes us miserable. Like they're living their life or they passed on and we're still holding on miserable. So I love to bring in, like letting go of anger and bringing in peace and power, you know, and having that. How does that sound?
Peace and power.
Yeah, instead of anger and resentment, which is so
Yeah, I like
consuming.
that better. Yeah.
Can you tell me anything else about the sadness, anything else about the grief that's coming up for you at all?
No matter what I did, it was never going to be good enough.
Yeah,
No matter how much money I make, how little money I make, it wouldn't make any difference.
yeah,
They died anyway. My parents died anyway.
yeah.
I couldn't do anything about it.
So is the limiting belief, the core belief, I'm not enough, or something's wrong with me, or I'm a failure?
Something's wrong with me, or I won't get the support that I want or need.
Yeah.
Maybe both.
Why won't you? Right, of course.
So I have to do it by myself,
Yeah.
not get support.
Anything else you'd like to say before the next round?
It's vulnerable
Yeah,
to change that
yeah,
in a good way. It's vulnerable.
yeah. Okay, everyone. Another round. Even though I have this remaining anger and resentment at Dad,
Even though I have this anger and resentment towards that,
I'd really love to let it go.
I'd really love to let it go.
And empower the part of me
And empower the part of me
that feels surprisingly peaceful and powerful.
that feels surprisingly peaceful and powerful.
Deep breath, everyone. Even though I have this remaining anger and resentment
Even though I have this remaining anger and resentment
at Dad,
at Dad,
I choose to let it go
I choose to let it go
and empower the part of me
and empower the part
that feels surprisingly calm and peaceful.
that feels surprisingly calm and peaceful.
I forgive Dad completely
I forgive Dad
for not being who I wanted him to be,
for not being who I wanted him to be,
and I set him free.
and I set him free.
Deep breath. Even though I have this remaining anger and resentment at Dad,
Even though I have this remaining anger and resentment towards Dad,
whatever I did was never enough.
whatever I did was never enough.
He made me feel like something was wrong with me,
Made me feel like something was wrong with me.
but I love and accept myself anyway.
I love and accept myself anyway.
And we're going to the eyebrows. This remaining anger and resentment at Dad.
This remaining anger and resentment towards Dad.
Remaining anger and resentment towards Dad.
Remaining anger and resentment towards Dad.
I really resent him.
I really resent him.
He made me feel like I wasn't enough.
Made me feel like I wasn't enough.
He made me feel like something was wrong with me,
Made me feel like something was wrong with me.
that it was all my fault.
It was all my fault.
What if that isn't true?
What if that isn't true?
What if nothing's wrong with me?
What if nothing's wrong with me?
What if it wasn't my fault?
What if it wasn't my fault?
What if it's not even about me?
What if it's not even about me?
All this anger and resentment,
All this anger and resentment,
all this sadness and grief,
all this sadness and grief,
all this guilt and shame,
all this guilt and shame,
this anger at myself,
anger at myself,
this self-punishment.
self-punishment.
I turned against myself.
I turned against myself.
I'm so tired of suffering about this.
I'm so tired of suffering about this.
I would love to let it go.
I would love to let it go.
What if I could?
What if I could?
What if I could release it now?
What if I can release it now
From the deepest root causes.
from the deepest root causes?
It's exhausting.
It's exhausting.
And I'm so tired of carrying
I'm
this
so
around.
tired of carrying this around.
Are there any yes buts, or do you feel like you're ready?
I'm getting ready.
Yeah. Tell me what's let's take a little break again. Close your eyes, everyone. 0 to 10.
5.
Beautiful.
5.
Looking for a 9 to a 5. What's the 5? What makes it a 5? What's remaining?
That if I change this, I won't know who I'll be. I won't know who I'll be.
Yeah, very good. So, you know, okay,
If I change this, I won't know who I'll be.
thank you. So the identity piece, like we've known ourselves for so long, like for Val, I've been carrying around this anger for my whole life about my dad. And if I let it go, I don't know who I'll be. And that can be really scary. Like we love safety and we like familiarity, even if we're miserable. So you really want to, this is a great point, and we'll do a round on that. Anything else you want to say?
There's a lot of sadness coming up right now.
Yeah, can you tell me about that?
I don't know how to talk about it exactly. Sadness. Like, I really love my dad. That's sad.
Yeah,
Even though I was angry, I was still loved him.
yeah.
So, I won't let go of the anger.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to the karate chop point. Even though I have this remaining grief and sadness about Dad,
Even though I have this remaining grief and sadness about Dad,
I really loved him.
I really loved him.
Even though I was angry with him,
Even though I was angry with him,
I love my dad,
I love my dad.
and I love and accept myself anyway.
I love and accept myself anyway.
Deep breath, everyone. Even though I have this deep grief and sadness about Dad,
Even though I have this deep grief and sadness about Dad,
I really loved him underneath the anger,
I really loved him underneath the anger.
and I accept who I am,
I accept who I am.
and I appreciate how I feel.
I appreciate how I feel.
Deep breath. Even though I have this deep grief and sadness about Dad,
even though I have this deep grief and sadness about Dad.
I choose to feel surprisingly calm and peaceful.
I choose to feel surprisingly peace and calm.
I choose to feel some relief.
I choose to feel some relief.
Anything else you want to say about the grief?
It was, first of all, I wanted him to love me as my genuine self, not what I had to do to please him.
Yeah.
That's where the resentment comes from.
I just wanted to be loved for me.
Just wanted to be loved for me.
I didn't want it to be about results.
I didn't want it to be about results.
I just wanted to be loved because I was his son.
I just wanted to be loved because I was his son.
All this grief and sadness.
All this grief and sadness.
All this guilt and shame.
All this guilt and shame.
All this old belief that something's wrong with me.
All this old belief that there's something wrong with me.
Anything else about the sadness? This deep grief and sadness.
Deep grief and sadness.
This deep grief and sadness.
Deep grief and sadness.
All this fear of change.
All this fear of change.
I'm so afraid to let go of this anger.
So afraid to let go of this anger.
Because I wouldn't recognize myself without this.
I wouldn't recognize myself without it.
And that's scary.
And that's scary.
I wonder who I'll be without this anger.
And who I'll be without this anger.
Who do you think you'll be without the anger?
I don't know. I don't know.
Peaceful?
Peaceful and loving.
Nice. Beautiful. I'd love to let this anger go.
I love to let this anger go.
What if I could feel more, what if I could feel safe to let it go?
What if I could feel safe to let it go?
What if I could feel surprisingly peaceful and loving?
What if I could be peaceful and loving?
What if it's safe for me to let this anger go?
What if it is safe for me to let this anger go?
Letting it go.
Letting it go.
Letting it go.
Letting it go.
Letting it all go.
Letting it all go.
Safe to let it go.
Safe to let it go.
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
No big deal.
No big deal.
It's safe to let this anger go.
Safe to let this anger go.
I forgive myself completely
I forgive myself completely
for everything I did or didn't do.
for everything I didn't do.
And I set myself free.
And set myself free.
I forgive Dad completely
I forgive Dad
for not being who I wanted him to be.
for not being who I wanted him to be.
And I set him free.
And I set him free.
All this anger,
This anger,
all this grief,
all this grief,
all this resentment,
all this resentment,
this guilt and shame,
guilt and shame,
letting it go,
letting it go,
letting it all go.
letting it all go.
It's safe to let it go.
Safe to let it go.
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
I choose to feel surprisingly calm and peaceful.
I choose to feel surprisingly calm and peaceful.
It's safe to succeed.
It's safe to succeed.
It's safe to be me.
It's safe to be me.
I love knowing I'm perfect exactly as I am.
I love knowing that I'm perfect exactly as I am.
It's safe for me to shine.
It's safe for me to shine.
Everything's working out perfectly.
Everything is working out perfectly.
Only good lies before me.
Only good lies before me.
Only good comes out of this.
Only good comes out of this.
I give this to the universe to handle.
I give it to the universe to handle.
I don't need to do it all by myself.
I don't need to do it all by myself.
I let go of being general manager of the universe.
I'm being general manager of the universe.
It's safe to relax
Safe to relax.
and trust in the divine order of my
Trust in
life.
the divine order.
Life loves me.
Life loves me.
All is well.
All is well.
Take a moment, close your eyes, everyone. 0 to 10, this sadness and anger at Dad.
Oh, it's about a 2 now.
Yay. Awesome. What are you present to right now?
A lot of forgiveness. A lot of forgiveness of myself and Dad. We didn't know any better. He didn't, and I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
We just didn't know there was anything else. There was nothing else better, like here and like now. Nothing else better, but now there's a chance. More of a chance. For me and Dad, wherever he is.
I'm going to go to the eyebrows, remaining grief. Remaining sadness. This love that I have for Dad.
Love I have for Dad.
We were both just trying to do our best.
Just trying to do our best.
Safe to relax about this.
Safe to relax about this.
Anything else you want to say?
I forgive you, Dad.
Wow.
I forgive me.
Beautiful.
Better.
How are you feeling?
Better.
Yeah. Is there anything else to let go of, or do you feel complete? I know you're at 2. Do you want to do another round?
Yeah. I'm not sure what it... I was never supposed to be vulnerable about anything.
I'm not allowed to be vulnerable.
Right?
Yeah. How true is that?
You meant on a scale? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's about an 8 right now.
Mm-hmm. I have to be strong.
You have to be strong.
Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll just do one more round. Even though I have this old belief that I'm not allowed to be vulnerable.
Even though I have this old belief that I have not be vulnerable.
It's safe to let it go.
Safe to let it go.
It's safe to be me.
Safe to be me.
Even though part of me thinks I have to be strong and keep it all in.
Even though part of me thinks I have to be strong and keep it all in.
I'm open to the possibility that that's not true.
I'm open to the possibility that may not be true.
Even though I have this old belief that it's not safe to be vulnerable.
Even though I have this old belief that it's not safe to feel vulnerable.
I have to be good and quiet.
I have to be good and quiet.
And I love and accept myself anyway.
I love and accept myself anyway.
Deep breath, everyone. This old belief that I'm not allowed to be vulnerable.
This old belief that I'm not allowed to be vulnerable.
I have to be strong and quiet.
I have to be strong and quiet.
I mustn't rock the boat.
I mustn't rock the boat.
I'm not allowed to express myself.
I'm allowed to express myself.
I have to be good and quiet.
I have to be good and quiet.
I mustn't be any burden.
There mustn't be any burden.
All this guilt.
All this guilt.
All this shame.
All the shame.
All this rejecting myself.
All this rejecting myself.
It's exhausting.
Exhausting.
All this judgment and criticism.
All this judgment and criticism.
It's safe to let it go.
Safe to let it go.
It's safe to relax about this.
Safe to relax about this.
I love expressing myself.
I love expressing myself.
I love being me.
I love being me.
It's safe to be me.
Safe to be me.
I'm allowed to be me.
I'm allowed to be me.
I give myself permission to be me.
I give myself permission to be me.
I deserve to be me.
I deserve to be me.
I choose to be me.
I choose to be me.
I love being me.
I love being me.
It's safe to shine.
Safe to shine.
It's safe to be seen.
And safe to be seen.
All is well.
All is well.
Close your eyes, everyone. Take a deep breath. And what are you present to right now?
Change. Some change. Still holding on, and at the same time I'm changing.
Awesome. How are you feeling about Dad, 0 to 10?
Feeling good. Better about that.
Yeah.
Letting him go his own path, take his own path.
What number?
That it's safe?
Yeah. Oh, the anger. Just checking in again about the anger at Dad.
Oh, at Dad, it's about 0 right now.
Beautiful. Congratulations. Yeah. What great work. Amazing. Thank you so much for being so courageous. I'm sure that was really helpful for everyone. Yeah. Thank you. Rob will, So that was amazing. Well done. Yeah. So as you can see, we can carry around this anger for years and years and years. And the tapping can be so wonderful just to go, you know what, this is making me miserable. And I really want to let it go. You look great. Yay. Does anyone have any questions before we move on to the next round of tapping about that or anything?